Hello, my name is Tom Gazaway. Thank you for joining us today and for your possible interest in working with us to help you obtain the funding you need for your business. I'm a small business owner just like you. I started out as a one-man band. I didn't buy a franchise and I didn't have anybody to talk to about what to do and how to do it. And at a time when I needed my funding the most, I'd had a bankruptcy recently on my credit report. So with very little knowledge of how to obtain business funding, I began to make plans. And I started by focusing on clearing up my credit and learning as much as I could about how to fund my business. Along the way, I made many mistakes, but I also learned some of the right things to do that got me access to low-cost funding, allowed me to avoid pledging collateral, and eventually learned how to protect, preserve, and improve my credit profile while borrowing money and growing my business. Today, about 5 years later, my small business is a healthy and growing company that provides credit and lending solutions for both new and established business owners, perhaps just like you. We've grown to nearly 45 employees. We've grown every year for the last 5 years, and I still own 100% of my company. We've helped literally thousands of business owners to obtain the funding they need to start, build, and grow their businesses. And none of that would have been possible without my access to funding. So additionally, I haven't had to pledge any of my collateral. I still have excellent credit with FICO scores that are above 750, and my blended interest rates on all of my financing is in the single digits. So as we've peeled back the confusing layers of the business financing onion, we started to talk about this and train different organizations and individuals around the country on how to understand the business financing space. We currently have over 500 referral partners around the country who send us their clients who need business financing. Over 400 of these referral partners are actual small business finance brokers who still send their clients to us because of our knowledge and the system we've built that allows their people to quickly get their questions answered. We started a blog called the Business Finance Lounge, where we try to answer people's questions about business credit and finance. Additionally, I've been asked to write for a variety of sites like business.com, smallbiztrends.com, Dun & Bradstreet, Score, Lendio, and various others. So during this webinar, I'm hoping to show you how you can overcome the problems that most small business owners face with practical solutions that have been proven time and time again. That's what we're trying to accomplish. The objective of this webinar is to show you what you can do now to find a solution that works for you. So let's begin by talking more about the three most significant causes of small business failures in the United States today. Causes that result in 4 out of 5 small businesses failing within the first 5 years of operation. One of these three main reasons for business failure is well known, and the other two are probably talked about a little bit less, but they're all very important to understand. One of the three main reasons why 4 out of 5 businesses fail, and this is the one that's probably predictable and that won't surprise you, is because of a lack of access to capital, not having the funding to grow the business. So in other words, it's very difficult to obtain funding to start, build, and grow a business. This problem exists on 3 different levels. There's the first level are those people who cannot get any funding. The second level are those people who cannot get enough funding. And then the third level are those people who damage their credit and who can't borrow more money because they went about it completely wrong, and when they obtained their previous funding, they did it the wrong way. So they can't get any additional funding. So we said there's 3 primary reasons why businesses fail, and we talked about one of them, the lack of access to capital. The other 2 reasons for business failure are poor leadership and not having a well thought out and relevant marketing plan. What's interesting about this scenario is that many businesses may have easily overcome the second and third problems by having the capital they needed to invest in those other areas. So let's go back to the problem and drill down a bit on some common causes why borrowing capital the wrong way can be an immediate killer for the people who obtain their funding incorrectly. Let's begin this with a very simple question. How is it that so many small business owners are not able to get their funding, and why do they not know how to do it in a way that protects, preserves, and improves their credit profile as they're borrowing money? What's the consequence of not being able to obtain your funding correctly when you do get your funding? Well, there's a number of reasons for this, but the most common causes that we see time and time again were actually published in a recent study conducted by the National Federation of Independent Businesses, the NFIB. And what does that study tell us? What is it all about? Well, according to NFIB, 80% of small business owners use credit lines to fund their business. However, 85% of those businesses actually use these credit cards the wrong way. Cause number one is they are using personal credit lines. These are the same credit lines they depend on to run their household and manage their personal expenses. Cause number two, they never established what we call a business credit asset, which is very simply a credit line that is established to support a business and only a business, which does not report to the personal credit of the business owner. Cause number three, many small business owners overutilize their personal credit lines, meaning they carry very high balances, often at very high interest rates as well, because of the way they're managing their credit is not good and not wise. The fourth cause is many people struggle to keep current with their payments, particularly when the all-familiar cash flow crunch comes about, which we all know is a very common occurrence most small business owners face often. This alone is an all too familiar problem that few business owners truly prepare for, the cash flow crunch. And what is the consequences of all this? Well, these business owners have significantly reduced or totally eliminated their ability to get funding in the future because of the damage they've done to their personal credit profile. We see this more and more every day due to tighter lender requirements, as well as the increased requirement that borrowers personally guarantee repayment of their debt, even when it's for business purposes. So it's common knowledge that banks only tend to approve between 10 and 20% of the loan applications they receive from small business owners. And it's no coincidence that most of these owners are making the same mistakes which prevent them from being approved. But even more alarming is the fact that most, if not all, of these mistakes are preventable. We see many business owners that simply do not have enough knowledge of the bank and non-bank lending options at their disposal. And they don't know where to go to get reliable support in understanding their very options. These owners, you guys, are not doomed. You just simply need assistance from experts who understand business credit and the daunting terrain that is constantly changing with the credit and lending marketplace. Think about your business and how well you know it. You're probably an expert, and the average person probably doesn't understand your product or your services nearly as well as you do. Now, think about business credit and financing. Think about the Great Recession and what happened to our economy in 2007, 2008, and the ripple effects it had throughout the entire world. The credit and lending environment has not only changed, but it continues to change and is ever changing. Things will likely never be the same. They'll probably never be the way they were. Gone are the days of easy money and flexible lending standards. So now that we've reviewed the problem, including some of the causes of the problem, and the impact it's having on small business owners, let's review some of the solutions that are available to help you overcome these challenges. This is the good part. Remember, the goal of this webinar is to show you what you can do now to find a solution that works for you and for your business. So, solution number one, know your options. One tool that's available to you is our free ebook. It's called the 16 Best and Most Common Business Financing Options for Your Business. You can get your copy absolutely free by returning to the site you visited to register for this webinar. With the click of a button, you can have a better understanding regarding all of these options now. There's 10 to 12 primary debt options that allow you to borrow money for your business, and there's 3 or 4 primary equity options to fund your business with equity. You'll learn all of them. Solution number 2, begin to treat your credit as an asset. And you do this by borrowing money the right way. Here again, we have a free resource that details the 6 benefits of borrowing money the right way, and how by working with knowledgeable professionals, you can actually realize these benefits now. Again, you can get your free copy of this totally free white paper by returning to the site you visited to register for this webinar. Again, a great resource. So, just exactly what are those 6 benefits that we're talking about, the 6 benefits of borrowing money the right way? Well, the first benefit is that by borrowing money the right way, you'll always be able to obtain additional capital in your business in the future. Benefit number 2 is you'll be able to separate your personal and business credit. But first, you'll need to establish what we call that business credit asset, and we'll talk about one very common way to do this in a few moments. Benefit number 3, you'll always be able to protect, preserve, and improve your personal credit profile as you borrow money and grow your business. Very important. Benefit number 4, you'll be able to obtain what we call cash flow friendly credit lines. And you might be saying credit lines. Well, that's exactly what we said. We're talking about business credit lines, and here's a couple reasons why. A credit line has no fixed payment requirement like a loan does, where with a loan there's a monthly repayment that stays the same no matter how much of the funding you actually used or how much of the loan you've repaid. So you never pay any interest expense on money you're not using with a credit line, unlike a loan. And a credit line can be used over and over again with no set term like a loan. Very important. In a moment, we're going to talk more about credit lines and the many advantages of working with professional advisors to be able to obtain some credit lines for your business so that you can run your business. So the 5th benefit is you can minimize your interest expense by taking advantage of low interest offers that are available from some of our lenders around the country. But to enjoy these, you have to know where to get them. And again, this is another area where working with a professional to deliver the best terms can be greatly beneficial to you. So lastly, the 6th benefit is when you properly originate and obtain your funding, you'll be able to maximize your tax benefits. Wealthy and successful business owners have been known this and been doing this for years. All right, so learn about some of the ways that you can take full advantage and benefit from a tax perspective when you borrow money. Very important. No reason why wealthy people can do it and you can't. So now let's take a moment and review some of the other great benefits and features you can enjoy with an unsecured credit line for your business. And I said credit line earlier, and now I said unsecured, and that's right. Unsecured simply means that you can borrow money without needing to pledge your precious collateral. All right, so very important. Unsecured financing is difficult to obtain, but it's certainly available when done the right way. You will personally guarantee your unsecured credit lines, so there's obviously no such thing as free money that you don't have to pay back, but these unsecured credit lines do not require you to pledge collateral like you do when you get a mortgage or a car loan. First, it's important that you understand that the popularity of credit lines used by small businesses is huge. It's enormous. In fact, just the expansion of the credit line space for small businesses created hundreds of thousands of jobs and contributes billions of dollars to our economy every year. In fact, feel free to ask us about the 5-year study that was done on this topic alone. In that study, they got to the bottom of how much small businesses can grow when they have access to business credit lines. It's fascinating stuff. So ask us about it if you have any questions. Second, it's also important for you to understand the difference between secured and unsecured credit lines. Very simply, unsecured means no collateral or any forms of security, including no UCC filings against your business. Third, it's vitally important that you understand that there are only 3 types of unsecured credit lines available to small business owners. One is an unsecured revolving line of credit. These require very little documentation, and they're great for startups as well as existing businesses. Many high-risk businesses can qualify for this particular line when other forms of credit would not typically be available to them. So very attractive. Another is what we call an unsecured bank draft line of credit. This line is typically only available to well-established businesses, and it requires strong financial history and full documentation such as tax returns, income statements, and so on, showing growing sales and profitability. Many businesses work toward obtaining these as they grow their businesses. So last but not least are vendor trade lines. So these are a little less versatile than revolving and bank draft lines of credit, but they are very useful for covering routine purchases at stores like Staples, Office Depot, Costco, many others. But not the level of funding typically needed for starting and growing a business, although a great product that is a good starter. So as you can see, in the evolution of a typical small business, all three forms of credit lines would be useful. For many businesses, revolving lines and vendor trade lines are most often the starting point. But as a business grows and becomes financially healthy, the larger traditional bank draft lines are the next logical addition to the overall funding strategy for the business. So your business should consider all these alternatives carefully, but it's most important that you also know how and when these credit lines can be most effectively used during the evolution of your business. Again, there's no fixed monthly payment with a credit line like there is with a loan. On a revolving line of credit, your monthly payment can be as low as 1 to 2% of your month-end balance. And on a bank draft line of credit, your monthly payment can be as low as interest only. As we said, these credit lines are extremely cash flow friendly to you and your business. You don't pay interest on money you're not using as you would with a loan. Lines of credit have no set term like a loan. They can be used over and over and over again as you make payments on them, pay down on them, and use them again. You automatically replenish the amount of funding that's available to you. As I mentioned earlier, on revolving lines of credit, low interest sign-on offers can significantly reduce your cost of capital, particularly on business-related balances that you may be carrying currently at high interest rates on other lines of credit or in any other type of high interest loan that you may have. Finally, if you're using the right unsecured lines of credit, you will obtain your business funding while also protecting, preserving, and improving your personal credit profile. So this is a great example of how knowledge truly gives you power and allows you to learn things and do things the right way without learning them the hard way. So think about this for a moment. Just how beneficial would an unsecured line of credit be to your business, and how would this help you to successfully do things like start, build, and grow your business? Or how would it help you to invest in support that develops strong leadership within your organization? One of the main reasons why businesses fail. How would it help you to invest in sound marketing strategies and tools so you could get the word out about your products and services? Or how could you invest that funding in areas that you know your business needs it? So I'm sure you'll agree that this method of financing for your business is probably one of the best options you have. But now the question is, do you know which bank and non-bank lenders like your industry type, what their credit criteria is, and how this impacts your chances of being approved? Well, chances are you're so busy working on so many other aspects of your business and living your life that you'll need the help of some professionals who know how to get the job done right and how to get it done quickly. That's very common stuff. You're probably like most people where you could use that assistance. So let's take a minute and review what you can expect when you work with us and some of the great benefits that we provide to every client that we serve. All right. First and foremost, we're passionate about helping small business owners to solve their credit and lending problems. It's something we're very passionate about. And we're committed to giving you honest, accurate, and dependable answers to your questions and getting you the right business funding solution based on your qualifications. So I want to talk about our experience a little bit too. We're experts at connecting small business owners with $25,000 to $250,000 or even more in freely spendable unsecured lines of credit, rather than selling one or two boilerplate credit products to everyone. We search our network of lenders for the credit solution that will best fit your unique business. We've been doing it for years. There's no guesswork. We know which lenders are lending and whether you and your business will be a good fit for them or not. We have a hands-on consulting approach, meaning once your application and credit report is evaluated, you'll meet with one of our FICO Pro certified business finance advisors for an extensive consultation and review of your funding options and some plans that you can make for your business. We work with you during the consultation to answer all of your questions. And if your personal credit needs improvement before your applications can be sent to lenders, we have the resources that can help you with this as well. So don't be concerned about that. We do have some success-based fees, so we don't require any upfront fees, and over 90% of our qualified applicants can enter one of our programs without any type of fee to begin with. There are some unique situations where some small fees may be required on your part, but this is rare, and we can cover that with you if you're part of that 10% of people who can't move forward without at least a small investment of your money. We also give you ongoing support. So after your funding is complete, you can meet with one of our funding coaches who can assist you in developing strategies on how to invest your new capital and grow your business and how to effectively manage the balances on your credit line, something that many people err on and need assistance with. We have an unheard of success rate of over 70%. We give very quick approvals, and as I said earlier, it's common that banks approve only 10 to 20% of the loan applications they receive from small businesses. So think about that. This is not a hollow pledge to date. Over 70% of the applications we submit to our lenders are approved. What's more, we do that within anywhere from 15 to 45 days for most clients. So, in closing, please consider these important questions. Again, do you know which bank and non-bank lenders like your industry type, what their credit criteria is, and how that impacts the approvals they issue? Do you know how to find the type of capital that will work best for your business? And do you have the experience and relationships required to get the job done quickly? And last, how important is the experience and help you can get from knowledgeable professionals? Do you have the time and can you afford to work on this by yourself or with anyone other than an experienced professional that has actually helped thousands of small business owners overcome the challenges that we've talked about today? If you're not sure of these things and want our help, rest assured we'd love to be a resource for you. If you want to apply now to schedule your no obligation pre-qualification and consultation, go to the link on your screen. Or if you'd simply like to be added to our mailing list and obtain additional information regarding financing for your business, then again, simply choose the link on your screen. Thank you again for your time. We look forward to hearing from you and hope you have a great day.